Hi there, VC. It's Steve Whitty here. Sunday morning, the sun is shining. I don't know for how long for. It feels like spring has finally arrived in the UK. We've had some great weather over the past few days. Um, this is video is a recent finds video. This is volume 106, and these are all my purchases from last week. A mixture of CDs and vinyl albums. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Show you first off this CD singles. This is Gary Clark. I thought I heard the name Make a Family. This is a promo CD song, which contains. It should contain two discs, but there's only one in there, so yeah, I'm not going to moan too much. It cost me pennies, so there we go. Marillion, Incommunicado, which was their lead single off the Clutching at Straws album. You got two versions of Incommunicado, the album version and an alternate mix with Going Under. Somewhat of its time, the Mike Flowers Pop and their version of Wonderful War was number 2 in 1995. There was a bit of a vogue for easy listening, and this guy, Mike Flowers, bewigged and everything, used to do easy listening versions of various tunes. I think he's done one of Venus in Furs. And then Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia. You're going to have to forgive the glare. The sun shines right through my window, which is over to that side there. And I think it's picking up on the CD cases. Come to the CD album. Had quite a good pickup with that. Death in Vegas, the Centrino Sessions. CSS, Donkey, Candace Sexy. That's their follow-up to their international debut album. Faithless, No Roots. It contains their version of it contains Weapons of Mass Destruction. There. Really pleased to pick this one up. This is Richard Hawley. This is his True Love Gutter album. This came out in 2009, sorry. Bit of world music. This is Salif Keita, Sorrow. Came out in 1987. I don't really know much about Salif Keita. I think he's from Mali. Showed you Marillion before, but this is quite a good little pickup. This is a crash course, an introduction to Marillion. This is an 8-track CD featuring basically the Steve Hogarth era, and so it's like the best of some really good tracks. I can't imagine this cost much, but it only came in a cardboard case, and there's your CD. A band that I don't have enough of, and that's New Order. And this is their Republic album. Originally came out in 1993. This is the 2003 reissue. Sometimes I'll take a punt on something, and this is one case. This is Fluoro, Perfecta Fluoro Paul Oakenfold. Ain't bad. I was listening to it last night. Probably wouldn't go out my way to purchase this stuff. I wouldn't go into a shop, but if it's going cheap in a charity shop. Next up, the Penningtons, No Mundane Options. I've got a download of their debut album, but I hadn't heard anything else since, so I thought I'd give that a punt. I'll be playing that a bit later today. Prodigy, Invaders Must Die. This came out in 2009. So I'll be interested to listen to that. Prodigy, obviously, all know, well known. This is Gwen Stefani, and this is her. What's it called? God blimey, Mike. Love Angel, Music Baby, her debut solo album. I do love What You're Waiting For, so it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the album. This is a sort of like came from the Wire magazine, I think, or something from Wire. This is called Domino 05. I have not got a clue what I've got. I know Patrick Wolf. I know Joanna Newsom that's on here. So it's a bit of like a label sampler. So from the Domino label. So interesting to give that a listen, see what that is. And then on the CD front, a couple of basically Sunday Times music collection. I think they did a collection of CDs, and they did various titles. This is Shock Rock, and you've got Time Zone. You've got Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, The Trogs with their I Can't Control Myself. You've got James Brown with Sex Machine, the live version of that. There's some Funkadelic on there. Got the Bollock Brothers on here. Screaming Little Such doing Jack the Ripper. So you get an idea. And Chuck Berry, My Dingling. I don't know what's shocking about that, but then I suppose it was 1972. And then the other one I picked up, this is Mind Games. I haven't took all the thickers off. So this is more of like a proggy type thing. So you've got Hawkwind's Master of the Universe, The Count 5, Strawberry Alarm Clock, Curtis Mayfield's Pusher Man's on here, Gong's on here, Funkadelic again's on here, Iron Butterfly, The Nice, Small Faces, Spooky Tooth, 13th Floor Elevators, and Chris Farlow's on here. So very interesting to listen to that. And then probably the thing that's topped up my CD haul is got The Goon Show here. I've talked about how influential in British comedy. This is Series 5. This is CD. It's a 7 CD box set of the whole of Series 7. This was originally broadcast, I think, in 1954. But there you go. You've got Milligan, Sellers, Seacombe. Modern British comedies born here, and I'll keep going on about this till the day I die. 7 hours, 7 discs, 13 episodes. The Whistling Spy Enigma, The Lost Gold Mine of Charlotte, The Dreaded Batter Pudding Hurler of Bexhill-on-Sea, The Phantom Head Shaver of Brighton, The Affair of the Lone Banana, The Canal, Lurgy Strikes Britain, The Mystery of the Mary Celeste Solved, The Last Tram from Clapham, The Booty Gorilla, The Spanish Suitcase, Dishonoured, or The Fall of Neddy Seagoom and Farag. Just by the titles on their own, you get the idea of the level of humour. I've been listening to a disc a night, a couple of nights, and it's always played on BBC Radio 4 Extra. The Goons, I just love it. Can never tire of it. It's so funny. So moving on to the vinyl. These are a couple of purchases I got from Amazon. This is Julian Cope, St. Julian reissue. Really pleased I've got that. I've got not Julian Cope. It might form a basis of a contest entry, I don't know, on that one. Then I got the Manic Street Preachers' latest Resistance is Futile. I was playing this last night, and it is probably the best album they've done in, I've got to say 15 years. Lovely artwork. The only downside and he also, if I can get at it, where is it? I've got the CD somewhere. You get the CD as well. Somebody at work's going to be borrowing that. The only downside in the packaging is this. It only came with this, and that's split with the record, being a heavy record and normal, and it's sort of split. So I've had to put in one of these. Hopefully that might preserve it, might keep it out of it. But I love the Manic Street Preachers. But this album is so great, and probably, they've got a follow-up track from one that they did a track on there. This is one album called South Yorkshire Mass Murder, which was about the Hillsborough disaster involving Liverpool Football Club, and it basically was having a pop at the police. It was quite clear early on that the line of the events that led up to the deaths of these people at Hillsborough wasn't quite, the truth wasn't being told, and this was 20 years ago this track came out, and they've got a track. It's subsequently, for the families campaigning, the truth came out that it was police negligence. So they've done a track called Liverpool Visited, which sort of like it's a sort of vindication of what they were saying, sort of triumphant, fingers up, basically. Cup of tea. Let's move on to my charity shop finds. You see this a lot. Randy Crawford's A Secret Combination. I thought I'd take a punt at this. I couldn't resist the smile, to be quite honest. But she's got a great voice, Randy Crawford. She features on the Crusaders Street Life. Her big hit singles off here, You Might Need Somebody, and her version of Rainy Night in Georgia. Finally took the plunge and I went with a bit of John Denver. This is Back Home Again. I took the plunge on this. It's got Annie's song on it. I've seen a few people on the VC show, John Denver, and it's very hard because he did have this very middle of the road image, geeky image. Some of the songs aren't bad. Some of it's a bit, I don't know if I've been told there's certain albums you need to get and certain albums you need to avoid regarding John Denver. More on the pop vein. This was going for £1, so I thought I'd take it. The Partridge Family album. This is an American Bell recording issue. You got Shirley Jones and the recently departed David Cassidy and the rest of the family on there. Probably the best known track for me would be I Think I Love You. And that'll be about it. It's not a very long album, so I think it'll be just a throwaway popper. Probably it's one of those I'll play the once and may never play again. Excuse me. Oh, I need some more tea. Edith Piaf. This is 20 French hits singles, so all the songs are in French. That's not bad considering she was a French artist. Again, I picked this up. These pennies. You got the Vian Rose, Je ne regrette rien, Le Chroniste. Just look at Piaf, the tortured artist. Only about 4'11", but went through men like there was no tomorrow. 12-inch single. This is Jewel by Propaganda. Great song. I think somebody's used the sleeve to rest their tea on, but it's got a mark on it. Pleased to have this. I did love the single when it came out on the ZTT label. I've seen people show this woman before. This is Nancy Sinatra. This is her greatest hits. This is on the Reprise label. So you've got These Boots Are Made for Walking, Some Velvet Morning with E. Hazelwood. You Only Live Twice. Something Stupid with Frank Sinatra. So as I've got no Nancy Sinatra, this is worth picking up as a starting point. A staple of charity shops in the UK is this band, Sky. Now, Sky formed 1978-1979. It's John Williams, the classical guitarist, and he wanted to go into more like a fusion. He was interested in going in fusion way, so he formed a band with Herbie Flowers, the guy that provided the bass line on Lou Reed's Walk on the Wild Side. Kevin Peake, he was an Australian guitarist. Tristram Fry, who was the drummer, and Francis Monkman, who was in Curved Air. So it was a mixture of rock fusion, and this is the debut album, which was initially successful, and then followed up. Probably this is the album you see more of. This is Sky 2, and the song Toccata, which closes the album, it's a double album, was a hit single for them. They went on to record 3 and 4. They carried on recording, but I think John Williams left after a while. I think Francis Monkman left as well. Kevin Peake ended up having quite a varied post-career. I think he went back to Australia. I think he ended up in jail for fraud or something like that, and that's how I think he died recently. But yeah, the reason I picked these are in great nick. Normally charity shop finds are not in great in great order at all. Another 12-inch single. This is Soul Asylum, Sometime to Return, the clean version. So the album, which came from must have a rude version. This came out in 1988. This predates Grave Dancers Union, and it's probably a bit of Soul Asylum I'm not aware of. So it's co-produced by Lenny Kaye and Ed Stasium. I'd be interested to hear what that is. And finally, I've got some comps to this to show you. This is on the Cascade label, Great Blues of the 50s and 60s. This is volume. I didn't say what number volume because I've got another one. So you've got here some Lightning Hopkins, Bobby Bland, Roosevelt Sykes, Big Mama Thornton, Jimmy Witherspoon, Sully Boy Williamson, John Lee Hooker, Elmore James, Ike Turner and his Rhythm Kings, featuring Lonnie the Cat, Howling Wolf. So you get an idea of some BB Kings on here, Johnny Guitar Watson, so you get an idea what it's about. I've gone purely for the names. Likewise, I've got this one as well. This is volume 2, so that was volume 1. This is volume 2. Again on the Cascade level. Again, you've got Elmore James, Johnny Guitar Watson, BB King. You also got Mercy Baby, Pee Wee Clayton, Bumblebee Slim. The names are just just wonderful. And Peppermint Harris, it's Mercy D. So yeah, be keen to have a listen to that. And then finally, this is a Hootenanny. This is a cooking on the came out on the Cooking Vinyl label. So it's a bit of a sampler on here. Names I've got on here. From the look of it, it's mainly folk. So got Ancient Beatbox, Edward II and the Red Hot Pokers, Colour Brian James Experience, God Little Monkeys, June Tabor and the Oyster Band, Andy White, Wedding Parties, Anything, Davis Spillane, The Four Brothers, Boiled in Lead, Raider Coppers, The Happy End, Bruce Coburn, Rory McLeod, The Barely Works, the Jolly Boys. Artists I've really got very little or not aware of at all. So pleased to pick that up, and I've been interested in listening if nothing else. So those were my purchases from last week, VC. So hope everyone's record day went well. I didn't participate. My local store doesn't. Pete's reckoning is that stuff he doesn't have a say in what stuff he has. And then if he doesn't sell it, it's hanging around for forever. He had people coming in who he'd never seen before on Friday while I was there, saying, you were doing record store day. It's as though they were hunting. You could tell they were eBay. They were going to buy it and plug it on eBay. They weren't interested in it for themselves. So I think one guy's reaction was, call yourself a record shop. So, but saying that, if you went out on record store day yesterday, and hopefully you got what you wanted, and if you didn't, you got something that sort of made up for it. So I'm not going to knock record store day, the concept. I just have my issues with. I think we maybe getting ripped off. I don't like the feeling of getting ripped off. That's why I don't participate. Anyway, if you stumbled across the channel for the first time and you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. I'm over 200 subscribers, and I will do a little video probably tomorrow to highlight that fact. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Always love the interaction. If you're new to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll always get back to you. So I'll repeat myself there. It's too early in the morning. So until the next video, BC, keep spinning, and more importantly, keep smiling.